Okay, hi everyone. I know with this channel you're usually visiting to see cute videos of my puppy, and who knows, she might show up while I'm doing this. But I wanted to do a educational video today because I belong to a group on Facebook, and a couple people have posted about how they're nervous about coming home after surgery and having drains and how to take care of them, how to measure, keep track of the drainage. So I wanted to go over that with you today. Now, just to give you some background, I was diagnosed with DCIS, which is a stage 0 breast cancer, in November. I went for just my very first routine mammogram, and it was found, and had 2 lumpectomies. The first one didn't get clear margins, the second one did. And then when I went for my 6-month follow-up MRI, it turned out there was more. So at that point, the left had already had 2 surgeries, and they were already looking at some spots on the right side. So I opted for a double mastectomy with reconstruction. They put tissue expanders in after the mastectomy. So when I was discharged from the hospital, I ended up having 2 drains. And if you have a double mastectomy, then you should expect to come home with 2 drains, and there'll be 1 on each side. And I'll show you this one in a second. If you have a single mastectomy, then you should probably only have 1. Some things you should remember about the drains. They can be very annoying. Usually, if you have 2, one will drain more than the other. I don't know why, it's just how they work. And the second thing is, you cannot shower until you get the drains out. And 3, my surgeon very much stressed to me that you cannot go back to work until you have your drains out. So I am now 2 weeks post-op from having my double mastectomy, and the drain looks like it may be starting to slow down to the point where it might come out, but so far it's still in. So first I'm going to take this up. YouTube, don't worry. I'm going to be leaving my bra on the entire time, so you're not going to have to worry about anything like that. Now, this that I'm wearing is a surgical bra. It's usually what you'll come home with after you have either a single or double mastectomy. It is in the front. Just got these on Amazon. They just look a little nicer than the ones that you'll get at the hospital. Okay, so the first drain was on this side. And as you can see, it's already been taken out, and it's almost completely healed at this point. This one was taken out 1 week post-op, and the drainage was always under 30. Now this one I still have in, and you'll see the insertion site is right here. Now I have a dressing around it. The doctor will probably give you some split sponges. I preferred to use some Band-Aids that I cut down the middle and then put around. They just stay more secure, and you only have to change these once a day. They will give you ointment to put on the site twice a day, but you only have to change the dressing once a day. So this is the drain you'll come home with, and this is commonly referred to as a JP drain, and it kind of looks like a grenade. If I let it inflate, you'll see how it just looks like a little grenade. And this is what collects all of the drainage from your wound site. Now, one thing you want to do before you drain, you empty your drain, is you want to milk the tubing. If for any time you go from having a large amount of drainage to all of a sudden you have absolutely none, there's two things that you can do. You can check your tube to make sure that there aren't any kinks, because if there is, if you put it in your pouch or connect it to your bra and it is kinked like this, you're not going to get any drainage. So just check it for kinks. The second thing that you can do if you notice that your drainage goes to 0 really quick is check your site. It will be kept on. You probably can't see it very well here, but it's actually kept in place with a couple of sutures, a couple of stitches. And so if at any time it gets pulled and the stitches get cut, then the tubing may start to come out. And if that happens, don't panic if that happens. Just contact your doctor, let them know that happened. Most likely what they'll have you do is measure your tubes, and just do that every day just to make sure that they are staying in place. If the tube is pulled out too much, that it's not draining anymore, then they'll probably have you come in and they'll either try and reposition it, put the sutures back in, or they may just pull it out at that point. Number one rule, don't pull your drain out by yourself. No, it's not a good idea. So, to milk your drain site, and you should do this, I do it every time I empty the drain, and I empty it 3 times a day. So you just come up to where it goes into your skin, and you want to hold, and then you just take your fingers and go down like this and flatten it. Now, some people like to use their fingers. I do not, just because after a while it actually starts to hurt your fingers a little bit. So I actually use a pen, and this actually works really good for doing this with your drain. So I just hook it on there. Hope you can see that. Then you want to hold above the pen. Don't hold it here. Don't let it hang. If you pull on this and you're not holding it here, it's going to hurt really bad. And you have the potential of pulling the drain out or messing up the sutures. So always hold above the pen, and then you just pull or push. I'm pushing. And then you push some more. Holding above the pen, push some more, hold above the pen, and push until you get down to the little grenade. Now you have all of the drainage. Now this will, at least mine does, it has measurements on it, and they're backwards, sorry about that, but it's 25, 50, 75, and 100. As you can see, mine is not even coming up to the 25, so how do I measure that? Well, they will give you a very nice cup when you go to the hospital, and it has all the measurements on there, which I can't see because it's right in front of me. And then they'll also give you a smaller cup that will have 5, 10, 15, 20 on it. However, I like using this mainly because it actually has every single milliliter on the side. So that way you get a lot more accurate measurement. And these are really cheap. You can usually just go to the pharmacy and ask, and they'll just give you one. Or if you have kids and you use this to measure out their Dimetapp, just don't use this one again to measure out your cough syrup. So we're going to empty the drain in here. And total that I have right now is 4. So after that, I'm going to put this in the cup so it doesn't spill all over the place. What I will do is I'll come to my measurement sheets. All doctors have different ones, but this is what my doctor had. And I will mark that down for my evening total. And then at the end of 24 hours, you total up all you have, and that's your 24-hour drainage. And then if you have 30 or less in a 24-hour period, then it's most likely your drain is ready to come out. Okay, so now you're done. You've emptied your drain. You got your amount. You put it on your paper. So now what do you do? In order for this to continue with the drainage, you have to squeeze it and then put the top on. And so that it will look kind of like the letter C. If you do not squeeze it and you just let it like this and put the top on and then go about your day, there will be nothing in this because the squeezing actually causes the buildup of suction, and that's what drains the fluid from your wound site. So always squeeze and then put the top on. And then you can, I was lucky, I got one of these nice little flaps from the surgeon, and that helps with keeping it really good. If you don't have one of those, you can always just keep it in your pocket. You can use bobby pins to attach it to your bra. Anything works. Couple tips. Make sure that before you empty your drain, you wash your hands. Very good. Good rule is to wash your hands for 20 seconds. You can either count to 20 as you wash your hands, or you can sing happy birthday twice, and that will assure that you do your hand hygiene for 20 seconds. That's really it. And then once you get used to emptying your drain, it will actually get easier and easier. When you first come home, you'll probably notice that the drainage is more red. It will get lighter as you heal. Also, you may notice that there are some blood clots that get in the tubing. You want to make sure that you get those blood clots through the tubing and into the actual JP drain. Because if you don't, that could be another reason why you're not getting drainage, because a blood clot got stuck in there. If you do see any blood clots, don't freak out. Don't panic. That is completely normal. Now, if you notice that you are having drainage that looks like ketchup, then it would be a good idea to call your doctor just to make sure that everything is okay. If you notice that your drainage goes very, very high in a 24-hour period, so you're having a amount that is, 50, 60, and then all of a sudden you have drainage of 150 in a day, just give your doctor a call just to make sure everything's okay. Make sure with your insertion site, if you start to have redness, any irritation, if it's very painful, if you're starting to have any weird, funky colored drainage at the site, make sure to contact your doctor because you may have an infection. Now, most likely you'll be discharged and you'll be on antibiotics, and that will help with getting rid of any infection, but just in case that happens. And I think that's about it. Now, I am a nurse, so if I used any terms that you're not familiar with, I apologize. Sometimes I get into nursing mode. And so if there's anything that you have any additional questions about, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer for you. And I hope this really helps and helps ease your mind on how to empty your drains. So thanks, everybody. Have a good day.